Alright, well, hello everybody. So I thought I would just put together this quick few-minute video here to show you how I outfitted my VIBE Seaghost 130. Just got the kayak about 2 weeks ago, so I've just been doing some little items to it for convenience that work for me, not just for looks or because other people say it looks cool or you should try this. This is really functional kind of pieces. So I'll show you a little bit about what it is. Hopefully you can see it with the lighting in here, and we'll kind of go from there. So the first thing I did was I got a whole bunch of these stretchy cords, lanyards, I guess, where one side has a round hoop that you can hoop around something, and then the other side has these adjustable, tension knobs where you can hook them onto something. So I use these for when I'm transporting. I hook them right onto the eye holes that are up front there, and I use those to hold my poles down. I figured they work perfectly with, I wrap them right over my poles, and then I put the back end of my poles through the seat right here. So then my poles are good to go. I don't have to take them apart. I got a bunch more of those lanyards, the stretchy ones there. So I just hooked up a bunch of them here onto this side, and then, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, I hooked up one with my wrench on one side, one with my fish grabber on the other side. Also, I took, basically because I had seen this from some other people, so I can't claim this idea as my own, but it works perfectly for deck matting. All one piece. If I pulled up the seat, I'd show it to you, but trust me, it's there. It's all one piece of, it's a yoga mat. I took a yoga mat, laid it out, and actually the length of this yoga mat was almost perfect to the front of the foot peg area, and it goes all the way to the back. I had to cut it about a ½ inch. It goes to the back section, almost perfectly. So just cut out a couple little sections, trace the middle, so it fits around, fits up both sides. I cut some little holes in here to hook your seat to, and this actually then keeps it from moving. So I did that on both sides. Instead of just cutting wide open sections, that helps hold it all still. And it works great. And it's light, but it's sound deadening and great traction. The other thing, copying what other people had done, I built a PVC rod holder rack. I'm going to do some other stuff with it at some point, but this was kind of the first run of it. So, and I put a wood board across that I can hook up my trolling motor to. So the troller hooks up right here. And so far, I haven't done anything special with the battery, any wiring or anything. I just sit it in the back. And in the back, the other half of the yoga mat, the pieces that I cut off, I used in here for sound deadening. And it also holds things really still. So I'll put the battery right here, and that keeps it from moving around. Works really, really well. So, and I purposely built the rod holder this way, opposite of what some people say. A lot of people use, a 90-degree corner here. Well, I wanted to leave them open. This way I have 4 pipes. I'm thinking about putting something in one of these, like a camera holder. I saw somebody do a GoPro holder where they use PVC pipe that goes in with an angle, and the GoPro holds it out here, and you can move it with your hand. So something like that. The other GoPro mount up front here, working on where that should best be. But so I sit one kind of like this, where I'm holding this right now, and turn it off to the side a little bit. And then the other one I wear on my head. Anchor trolleys. I know there's some for sale, many different versions. I didn't want to make any holes just yet. I say that, but I wound up making some holes anyway, so go figure. But I bought from Home Depot these little metal rings. And put it in the extra hole that's here. This is the kind of metal ring that you can screw down. You can see the nut in there. And I just ran my rope around it. And then I hooked another one of those. It's a little pressed up underneath my strap here. But another one of those, there, give you a better look at it. Another one of those screw type nuts. And I just used a little piece of paracord and tied it around the last piece. This way I didn't have to tiny holes into it. And I also grabbed a pack of these round stainless steel screws, circles. So now it pulls back and forth across the whole section, and I don't have to put any holes. I don't use anchor all that often, so I didn't want to go too crazy with it. If I start to, then great. I have tried it once or twice. I took this off of somebody who showed this also. So for an anchor, this is basically just a piece of really heavy gauge chain link. You can see how thick one of them is. Two of them together. I didn't cut them apart. 2 feet long. Wrapped them in some duct tape. Maybe I'll wrap them a little better. This way you don't get stuck on anything. They just drag. I have a hook anchor, but I'm always worried, and there are times when I get it stuck. So instead of dealing with that. The other thing is I see a lot of people asking about the little cleat that locks down for your anchor, for your rudder. So stealing an idea I saw from somebody else, get yourself one of these zigzag cleat. The zigzag cleat works awesome, and there's really no way for it to fail, because it just, if I can do it without not really pulling on it, but basically you pull your string, and when you're sitting there you just pull it, and that's it. And there are little like soft plastic kind of teeth, you can see them a little bit there, in there, and that holds it perfectly from falling back on you. That's real easy to install. Easy enough for me. I'm not a handy person, so the zigzag cleat right there, you can see where it is in conjunction with the rod holder. This way you can get in through your hatch with your hand, and you can tighten the bolts down. Or it comes with, this one was from Amazon. It came with pop rivets. So if you have a pop rivet setup, then you can do that too. That came in the setup with the zigzag cleat, was these little pop rivets. I don't have a pop rivet, so I just use the wrenching type setup. So that's what I have so far, and it works amazingly well. I'll just kind of walk around as I'm talking about it so you can see some of the stuff. The anchor cleat works well. I've just tied some red straps on the back that I hang off when I'm traveling. Keep one of my boxes underneath here. I keep another one underneath the seat there. Keep little baggies. I like to use paddle tail, soft plastics. I got an old jet ski trailer, real cheap, that somebody was selling, so I used that. It works perfectly for transporting. The bunks line up just amazingly well. So if you get a chance to find an old jet ski trailer, they're awesome. And I keep the ropes, on the front here, not too tight, but just enough to hold it down. I got some ratcheting tie downs, and then I just cut some holes to help with those get inside of there. They work really well, and same in the back. So I put one in the back and one in the front, and then we're good to go. So that's my setup. It works really well. I've been out in 15-mile-an-hour winds on lakes with maybe 1 foot whitecaps, and it has worked really well. And on perfectly smooth days, it works great too. The trolling motor works really good, especially the fact that you have a rudder. That's a biggie. Oh, and the last thing, I saw this upgrade, so I did it too. I replaced the cord, the paracord that runs the rudder, with wire. So I got, I think it's 90-pound test, steel, plastic-covered steel 90-pound test so it doesn't rust. Ran it all the way through using the little plastic pieces, and put some little crimp locks on the ends to hold it. Did it on both sides. So now the rudder works really, really well. And there you go. So that's my setup from Maine. That's how I use it to go bass fishing. If you have any questions, feel free, leave them in the comments. I'm glad to answer what it is and how I set it up. Most of the things that you see on here I've copied from somebody else's video, so this is not original. It's just a photocopy of what somebody else did, and I adapted it and made it work for my own.